Imagine standing before a mirror that doesn't reflect your face, but your thoughts, your fears, your dreams, your state of being. This is not metaphor. This is the premise upon which much of quantum thought, mysticism, and esoteric philosophy align. That reality, as we know it, is not fixed, but fluid, shaped by the observer, shaped by you. The Newtonian worldview taught us that the universe was a machine, predictable, external, separate. But quantum mechanics shattered that illusion. Electrons behave differently when observed. Particles exist in multiple places until we look at them. Consciousness, it seems, plays a role more fundamental than previously imagined. Yet this revelation is not new. Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary mystic philosopher, wrote thousands of years ago, "As above, so below. As within, so without." What science now grapples with, ancient minds intuited. You are not simply in the universe is also in you. And this mirror, invisible to the eye, reflects not what we look like, but what we believe about ourselves, about reality, about what is possible. A mind immersed in fear calls forth a reality echoing chaos. A mind grounded in peace invites harmony to form. Reality is not a snapshot, but a slideshow, constantly updating itself in response to your innermost frequencies. This chapter marks the beginning of your reawakening, the understanding that the mirror isn't passive. It is listening, responding, and the moment you truly see it, it begins to show you who and what you really are. In Plato's ideal world, beyond the veil of material reality, exist perfect forms, archetypes that cast shadows into our world. Today, quantum physics speaks of probability fields and infinite possibilities coexisting in a single moment. Neville Goddard, the mystical teacher of the 20th century, called it the fourth dimension, a realm where every potential version of your life already exists. Imagine a web. Every decision, every emotion shifts your thread along that web toward a different timeline, one of joy, or fear, or stagnation. The geometry of thought is not linear. It is fractal, spiraling, alive. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes the quantum field as a sea of energy, responsive, intelligent, and aware. Your thoughts are like pebbles cast into this sea. They ripple outward. They alter the currents. What you assume to be real begins to arrange itself around your assumptions. And within this infinite matrix lies the architecture of becoming. Every belief you hold becomes a frequency, and that frequency finds resonance within the universal pattern. Much like music follows mathematics, so too does manifestation follow mental design. What seems chaotic is, in truth, an unfolding order, a sacred geometry drawn by your conscious and unconscious mind. Those who understand this geometry do not fight the current. They align with it. They become aware of the rhythm, the invisible dance of thoughts folding into form. This is the lost language of the soul, the unseen design by which reality takes shape. If the external world is a mirror, then consciousness is the artist. It chooses the palette. It defines the style. Time, in this model, is not a river, but a lens. In the quantum realm, all outcomes exist. The past, present, and future collapse into a field of probability. What defines what becomes real is you, not you as a body, but you as an awareness, as a frequency, as a vibration. Gnosticism teaches that the world was not made by a perfect God, but by a flawed demiurge. a false authority. Perhaps this demiurge is symbolic of the mind in forgetfulness, and awakening then is the realization that we are not victims of reality, but its sculptors. When you change your inner state, the outer world cannot help but follow. To create is not to command, it is to allow. When your being is coherent, the quantum field responds with clarity. You don't force reality, you attune to it. Just as a radio receiver aligns with a specific frequency, so too does your consciousness align with particular realities. Every belief becomes a brushstroke, every emotion a hue. The life you perceive is the canvas, and through your sustained attention, you blend probabilities into presence, painting the world with who you are becoming. Why don't we remember this truth? Why do we feel so small? Because we chose to forget. Like players in a divine game, we entered this life with a veil over our consciousness. In esoteric teachings, from the Kabbalah to Hinduism, this veil is called Maya, sheath, shell, the illusion of separation. To experience authenticity, the all had to become the one, you. Imagine playing a virtual reality game where every sensation feels real, every heartbreak, every triumph. If you knew it was a simulation, the experience would lose its power, so you agreed to forget. But now, something stirs. A call, a memory surfacing. The illusion is cracking, and you begin to remember. You are not just in the game. You are the code. This is the divine paradox. The all became the part to know itself more fully. The dreamer entered the dream to discover what it means to wake. The limitations you feel of body, time, identity are not prisons, but portals. And through them, the eternal learns what it cannot know from infinity alone. The depth of vulnerability, the beauty of becoming. The soul, clothed in forgetfulness, slowly rediscovers itself, and in doing so, brings light into the illusion. Neville Goddard said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not because it tricks the universe, but because it is the mechanism by which reality shifts. The mirror of life cannot smile unless you smile first." The quantum field responds not to desire, but to embodiment, to frequency, to emotional truth. If you project fear, the mirror reflects reasons to fear. If you hold peace, the world softens. The law is impersonal, perfect, and absolute. What you radiate, you receive. This law is not bound to morality or preference. It simply mirrors. It doesn't judge your state. It echoes it. Many wonder why their world remains filled with limitation, unaware that the mirror waits for a new signal, a new posture of being. When you begin to carry the essence of what you seek, joy, love, abundance, even before it materializes, you alter the reflection. The mirror cannot help but change. It must. You are not manipulating reality. You are harmonizing with it. The Newtonian model is dying. The age of separation, mind from matter, science from spirit, is ending. Philosophers like Schopenhauer hinted that the world is representation, shaped by will. Jung mapped the collective unconscious, where archetypes live and speak through myth and dream. And now, science is catching up. The observer effect, entanglement, non-locality. Everything is connected, everything is aware, and everything is responding to you. The old maps no longer apply. A new cartography is emerging, one drawn by feeling, belief, and vision. The universe is not a cold mechanism, but a conscious fabric, interwoven with intention. You are not a cog in a wheel. You are a node in a living tapestry. Each choice vibrates through the whole. Illusion collapses not with destruction, but with awareness. When you realize the world is not outside of you, but within your perceptual field, everything shifts, the veil lifts, and you begin to see with new eyes. To walk the hidden path is not to seek control. It is to return to coherence, to remember that the universe is not against you, but echoing you. Meditation becomes navigation. Thought becomes brushstroke. Emotion becomes portal. The ancient texts were never literal. They were codes, layers of meaning embedded in symbol. The serpent, the tree, the light, all metaphors for awakening. Via Occulta is not a place. It is a state of being. And your journey through it begins when you ask not what is real, but who is the one perceiving it. When you walk the quantum path, you walk as a dreamer who knows they are dreaming, not to escape, but to dream with clarity. Your awareness becomes the compass. Your presence becomes the key. This is not a journey of answers, but of deeper questions. A return to mystery, a surrender to wonder. To walk this path is to remember the forgotten language of the soul, a resonance beyond logic, where symbols speak and silence reveals. The more you listen, the more the world unveils itself, not as a puzzle to be solved, but a poem to be felt. Every sacred tradition has hinted at this, from the Tao's effortless flow, to the Hermetic axiom of mentalism, to the mystic's stillness, where all things are known. The truth is not loud. It is still, quiet, and waiting. Beneath your assumptions, you are not here to dominate life, but to co-create with it. You are not a fragment of dust in an indifferent cosmos. You are the breath within it, the observing eye of the infinite. The quantum path is the path of radical responsibility. You accept that your inner world paints your outer, that how you meet each moment determines the reality you walk into next. It is not always easy. Sometimes you will falter, forget, doubt, but each breath, each thought is a chance to realign. The mirror is always ready to reflect the newest version of you. Do not seek to be perfect. Seek only to be present, for presence is power, and power grounded in love reshapes universes. On this path, you will not find all the answers, but you will learn how to hold the questions with reverence. You will see that mystery is not an enemy of truth. It is its womb. The dreamer awakens not by fighting the dream, but by realizing it is sacred, that within the illusion lies the invitation to create beauty, to love deeply, to walk gently. You are not here by chance. You chose to awaken. You chose to remember. And now the universe responds. Welcome to Via Occulta, where the unknown becomes the invitation, where your voice shapes the void, where you remember what you've always known, and so the journey begins.